What's going on, YouTube? GraveCinder here, and welcome back to another episode of Cities Skylines. I only did a little bit in between episodes, and that little bit is I plopped some trees over here in the Saddle Rock Ranch. So I'm not in love with it. I think it could be better, but we'll go ahead and we'll leave it as it sits for the time being. Over here, I went ahead and I put in just some roads for the additional residential area that we're gonna have here. I plopped down some trees as well, extended the district, and that's it. That is everything that I did in between episodes. So currently, we're in a death wave. Aside from that, we have nearly $1 million in the bank. We have 24,000 coming in weekly. We have some people getting sick over here. I think that was, it has to be from the pollution that we had on the ground prior to them moving in. And we have 8,800, 8,900 in the population. So I wanted to do just a little bit of work in this area before we buy this additional tile and start going out as high density. So I don't think that we provided any services to these nice folks living over here. And I'm thinking that this right here would be a perfect area for a small little clinic. So we'll put a clinic there. We are also going to give them a police department because obviously they do need it. And then they should have a firehouse as well. And that should fit nicely just right there. So that should be able to cover majority of this area, and maybe even some over here. You know what? Since we're here, let's go ahead and give these folks firehouse in there as well. Police, I'm not as concerned with. However, they could use one, so let's give them one there as well. And seeing as how they're living on polluted ground, or will be living on polluted ground over here on this side, let's go ahead and give them a little clinic over here as well. So here's kind of what I have in mind for this area. So this right here is as much commercial as we're gonna have. Coming over here to this side, we're gonna have all of residential, and these trees and foliage here is gonna be the divider between the residential and commercial. So without further ado, let's go ahead and we'll complete out everything that we have over here on this side. So we'll zone everything in a residential. There we go, just about to there. Here as well. And we'll go ahead and zone over here. Actually, not over here because that's where it's still polluted. So we'll swing out this way a little bit and put some homes in there. And I think that's everything. Actually, no, it's not. We do need to add a cemetery for this area here as well, because currently we have just the one, and that's servicing the whole city, and it looks like they're having some trouble getting to everybody. So we'll add another one. And let's see if we can get it to fit nicely here. There we go, that should work just fine water-wise. There we go, we're gonna do just that, and then hopefully the power transfers over to the cemetery. So that should help with some coverage and the collection of the dead bodies. Our farming area is doing great still. This is one of the reasons why I want to get the cargo train station over here, is because we're going to run into these not enough buyers for products type of deals a lot, because we're producing a lot and we're not exporting a whole lot. So I think a cargo train station somewhere over here in this area would benefit greatly. So we'll do that in the future. For now, they can just deal with it. Coming. Well, I was thinking about let's just go ahead and pull the trigger, and we'll buy this tile up here right away. I do want to move the sewage, and we'll go ahead and we'll just plop it right over here. So 1, 2, we'll go with 3, because here shortly we are gonna have to buy a third one anyways. I'm gonna run this all the way down to there, and then now we can go ahead and get rid of them. And those power lines along. Let's see. So the power there actually has connected, so we don't really need those either. Let's, for the time being, just put one there so it connects to our cemetery, and then naturally these guys are going to need some power, and we'll go ahead and give them a nice little wind turbine there to help, because I don't feel like running a power line alongside the river. So that's our solution for the time being. Also, money-wise, it's getting ridiculous. We have 9,000 population, and we're sitting at nearly 1 million in the bank. I'm going to be a nice mayor, and I will lower these taxes down to 9%. So here's something that's probably going to happen here in the next 5 minutes or more, depending on if we put it on 3-speed or not, which I think we will. The residential, commercial, and industrial demand is going to spike up now that we have lowered the taxes. So new businesses are going to start wanting to move in. People are going to start wanting to move in, and commercial is going to start moving in as well. So that's just something to look out for if you all of a sudden lower the taxes, because it will happen. By the by, parks. Let's see. We have a couple of parks over here. I kind of want to complete out this area so we don't have to keep coming back to it. I think a good area for a park. Oh, Birch Hill Park has leveled up. Okay, we'll go over there and put in that climbing frame here in just a moment. Park-wise, let's see. Put a park right there. We can even run. We can put a large playground here, why not? There we go. That should make all of those folks happy. These guys here are gonna need a park as well. Can we put this one here? We can, perfect. All right, so that's gonna be that for that. And not to worry, all of these businesses are gonna regrow here in just a moment. To make sure we're good on schools, so we have an elementary school there. High school wise, we're still doing okay, but I'm still thinking that we put one there. And I think we should be good for the most part. Rosewood District here. Let's see. I do want to keep these guys employed in the farming side, so we're going to go ahead and... Oh, that was already in there. What am I doing? I was going to say we'll apply the schools out policy, but it's already in there. I just didn't see it here in the menu. So, okay. All right, cool. We are good. Let's come over here into Birch Hill Park and see the climbing hill that we have unlocked. That would be this beauty right here. And we'll put 2 of them in. We'll put one there. And can we put one here? We absolutely can. The other thing that I did is I added some of these gazebos over here as well. And now that we're here, they could use a tree or two. Oh, I can't wait for this thing to be set on fire. It's gonna be beautiful. I do have another city that I'm working on off camera, and simultaneously, all three parks. I have three huge parks. So the one over by the water is gonna catch fire first. The one in the middle of the city is catches on fire the second, and then the zoo catches on fire third. Nearly every single time it goes down like that. Well, it's still raining, and loving, just absolutely loving the wet streets and the highways, and it's just looking absolutely awesome. In any case, here's what we're gonna do now. I think I mentioned this in one of the previous episodes, but we're gonna go ahead and close off this area here. So we're not gonna zone any more low density residential. We're gonna close it off by zoning, or not zoning, but by putting in some trees, kind of just like so. So a nice little secluded neighborhood. There we go. We'll do just that there. And there it is. We could use some trees over here in this area. And then up here, once we unlock this tile, I have something kind of creative for this area here. I'm not going to spoil the surprise. I'll just show you guys what it's going to be once we unlock that tile. Let's kind of start planning out this this expenditure, I guess, into this area here. So we'll start with getting rid of that. And one of you guys commented in one of the previous episodes asking, how do you get the highways to line up so nicely and so close together? It's actually very, very simple. Let's just do one for example here. So I'm on one height up, if that matters to you. I don't think it should, because you're looking at cost as opposed to height. So if you're on the one height, I guess, and you just go out by the very first available pillar there, the cost is 360. You connect it down to the other side. And then here, all you gotta do is then upgrade the highway, and there you go. Nice and neat and close together. This highway is going to come all the way down to here, and then at some point I believe we're gonna want to splice it and have it come out this way, or maybe a 2-lane highway, not sure. I do know for a fact that I wanted to go out this way and connect everything that we build on that side. So for the time being, we're gonna keep it simple, and we're just gonna go out by, what is the cost of this? This is 13,660. We're gonna go over by 360, and this should be 13,660 as well, and it is perfect. Our pillars do line up nicely, and that's all we're gonna do for that. We are gonna have to put in some on and off ramps as well, and I haven't really quite decided on what kind of an interchange it's going to be here yet, but I think having the highway come through here looking like so looks nice. By the way, another trick let's say, for example, that you didn't want all of these farm fields here, or the coloring of it. Just zone a ton of trees. Zone a ton of trees, you'll notice that the ground goes from that neon green color to a regular green, and then you can just get rid of all of those trees. And there you go. Farm fields are gone. Now there's no way to bring them back, so it is a permanent altering of the land that you are doing. I'm a little bit distracted. I keep looking at my phone. My camera at the front door keeps going off for whatever reason. I'm thinking that somebody's trying to get in. It's 11 o'clock at night right now. In any case, forget about that. We were doing our high density expansion over here. So I know for a fact that I want to have a divide. So divide, what I mean by that is, let's just kind of show you what I mean. So we'll have a divide like so, right? So this is all going to be lower density on this side. Up here, we're going to have high density everything. So residential, commercial, offices, IT cluster, all that good stuff. But we're going to keep all of this stuff down here kind of separate. And who knows, that might change. We might put in a road or two coming through here. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. The only thing that I'm kind of stuck on right now is, do I start curving the highway that way right away? Am I sure that I want to keep the railroad here, or do I want to go underground with it? And that's the debate that I'm having right now. But I guess we can change that in the future. So let's go ahead, and before we put in a highway connection, let's design our first high density development. And we're just going to use this square over here. It is going to be grid, because if you ask me, grids work very well with high densities. So we'll come to about there. We'll use the road with trees for the time being. I'm gonna wanna freeform kind of. Alongside the river there, and we can easily come and connect to this area here. Does that look wonky? Not really. I think it's gonna serve its purpose. And then this one now, we're gonna go ahead and connect straight into this road. We're gonna go ahead and remove the traffic lights right off the bat, and then from here we're gonna splice off some high density zoning. So looks like residential is going to be the first go-to. And remember, I told you guys that the demand was going to go up, and there you have it. It's near full right now. So how do we want to do this? Let's go with the simple 2-lane road, and we'll go out by, I believe that's 3 blocks. We'll leave a gap of 3 in between. There we go. So if we do it like this, that's going to limit how many lights and junctions we have on the main street. So this is kind of I can't decide. Do I want to go green with the green high density buildings over here? Would that make sense? Do I want to go offices over here and then residential over here, maybe with a little bit of a a block of commercial low density, of course, over here. Well, let's continue grading for the time being. So you can leave a block or a gap of 3. Can do the same over here, and then we're gonna come up and we'll splice right into there. So I'm not in love with it, I'll be honest with you, but it's gonna have to do for now. The beauty in this game is if you build something you don't like it, rebuild it. Don't ask any questions, just do it, just rebuild it. That's it. Since we do have this residential demand, I'm gonna go ahead and start zoning over here. Come to about there. We'll stop about there. The reason I'm stopping there is because of the noise from the highway. So that's one big massive death wave waiting to happen once it starts, but oh well. It is what it is. Let's over here, how do we want to hook up to the highway? Of course, the pillar is right there in the center, and that's my fault because I started with the road there. I'm thinking we do something similar to this. Down here, it's far enough away apart from this intersection to where it would work. I don't think there would be any issues. But I'm not sold on it. I'm not. Let me give this a little bit of thought. Alright, so as weird as this looks, I think it's gonna work. I think it will. There's only one flaw to it. There's no way to get from this part of the city or development to this side of the city or development, which I don't think it's necessarily a terrible thing. We can easily put in roads later under the highway, but let me let me explain this thing. So let's say you're somebody coming from here all the way out to here and you want to get here. Let's say you're somebody just moving into the city and coming in this way. So here's how you go. You come through here. You get down onto the off-ramp in the middle of the highway. Down here, if you can see, let me show you a closer look. Oh, hey. So down here, you can either go right or left. Left will take you into this city. Let's see. So that's this ramp right here. Right, so it'll come and bring you out here, and you go wherever you please from there. If you're somebody coming from this side of the highway, like you would if we had something built over on that side, you'd be on the highway, coming down and then instead of making a left to go to that part, you would hang a right and you would enter right over here. If you're somebody that's leaving the highway or leaving the city and going out that way, you, my friend, would go on the on-ramp and go through there and get out. Now, if you are somebody that's wanting to get back onto the highway here and go out that way, unfortunately at this time I don't have a way for you to get there. There will be somewhere sometime in the future, but At this point, you have no way to get in or get out from here and get onto this highway. So that's kind of sort of what I've come up with. I think it looks unique. I think it looks interesting. It's not something you see every day. There's a good reason for it. Again, it's not functional, but I think it's cool. I mean, if it turns out to be a mess, hey, bulldozer, get rid of it. But for now, I'm sticking to my guns and I'm keeping it, and I want to see what it ends up looking like. I switched up the design over here just a little bit as well. We're gonna go ahead and provide water to this whole area, and then before we end the episode, we'll go ahead and we'll put some residential in here and see how it develops. This whole thing's gonna come and bite me in the butt in the near future, but I'm okay with it. I am 100% okay with it at this time. We can make that look a little bit neater, hopefully. See, can you hook up there? You can't. Okay. So what about that? Fine, whatever, that'll work. Okay, cool. So let's zone some folks. Actually, we're gonna make a district. We have to keep in mind that we're playing on the European map, so if we don't want the little short stack buildings to appear as high density, we do have to go into districts. You have to select the district that you just placed down, and you gotta select it as North American, because if you stay on default style, it's gonna bring you those little buildings. And by the by, since this is going to be a green high density, we're going to apply the self-sufficient buildings policy to that. Zone a little bit here, a little bit there. Yeah, I'm quite curious to find out what this is gonna end up looking like. I think I'm actually more curious to find out how functional that interchange is going to be, as opposed to what it's gonna look like. I know what it's gonna look like. I've seen the buildings before. Let's do it. Let's see who zones first and where. I think over here we're gonna provide, since this is gonna be a big old development, let's start out with a large fire station. That should cover majority of the area. Police wise, we'll do the same exact thing. Actually, since we're here in this tab, let's do a hospital real quick. We're gonna have one of those there. Perfect. And police. All right, all of our main services are now there. So all these folks are going to be asking for power, or are asking for power. We can simply just run a power line through there for the time being. Hopefully the folks over here move in quickly, and we get this to work. I'm just waiting for somebody to drive down that way. And check it out, we just got to the small city milestone. So we got some unique buildings. We have train, monorail, and cable cars. Policies, we have some of those. High-tech housing, one of my favorites. We're going to use that. New roads, so primarily just for the monorails. New buildings, cargo train terminal, we do have that finally unlocked. Not sure if we're going to use it right away or not, but we have a train station, a couple of other new buildings pertaining to monorails. We have a yoga garden and the hydro power plant. Still nobody coming in this way. Anyone? Nope, looks like all those folks are just wanting to come through there. Or maybe they're all just moving in over here now before they start moving down here. But that is a-okay. Yoga garden, since we have that unlocked, let's go ahead and put in one of those. That's going to be under the medical tab. Yoga garden, there it is. This thing costs 90,000. It's pretty darn expensive. We'll put one right there. Is that enough to bridge the gap on power? Now it should be. And there we go. Perfect. All right, so we have power now to these buildings. And here we go. There he is. They're going to go through there. Put it on 2-speed. There we go. Coming around. You've got Mr. Policeman coming down this way as well. And we got to make sure that we turned off the intersection lights there, and there isn't one there, but there will be probably in the future. Yeah, this thing, man. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what it ends up looking like. Let's, for the time being, put in some low density commercial buildings right alongside here. That's going to be a little commercial strip. We're going to make one over here. Oops. Gonna make one over here as well, simply because we have that demand. Actually not. I'm going to zone anything there. There. Sorry, guy. Or there. We're going to leave this for pathways. Oh, whoa. Told you. What did I tell you? There it goes. There it goes. And you know what sucks? We don't have... We could have the disaster response unit, but this thing is absolutely huge, and I have nowhere to put it for the time being. So this park is gonna have to stay burnt up, because nobody can come and look for survivors because we don't have this disaster response unit. So if you click on one of these buildings now, yeah, it needs to be searched for survivors. So I guess maybe that's something we work on the next episode. I'm not sure. We'll see. We do have to do something about it, because we can't leave it like this, and if it keeps spreading, it's going to take out all of the buildings, at which point nobody can do anything with this park. And these dum-dums are still visiting. They just don't care. The brave citizens of Canville. But all right, guys, I think I'm gonna leave you with this. I'm gonna leave you with the nail biter and see what happens in the episodes to come with this interchange here. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be the best that you can be in everything that you do. And I'll see you guys on the next episode.